8th grade. We have been brainstorming this week and working on how we're going to generate our ideas for our final writing piece of the year, our nonfiction writing piece. So, yesterday you did some brainstorming on some topics that you thought were interesting, and you also looked at some things that writers do to make their writing compelling, and you generated a list of those types of things. Today, I want to go a little bit deeper and I want to think about these two learning targets here. I can introduce a topic clearly for an informative text, previewing what is to follow. So that's going to be our first step after we choose our idea and think about our audience and pick the format that we're going to use. The second learning target is I can evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of presenting a topic or idea in different mediums. So when authors write nonfiction text pieces, they have a wide variety of mediums that they might include. Those mediums could be an essay, it could be an interview, it could be a blog post, it could be a news article, it could be a picture book. Picture books, I always say, are not just for our younger students, in kindergarten or first grade. They're for everybody. Mrs. Ash is an old lady, and I get lots of information from picture books too. And oftentimes picture books are written for adults. They're way over a first grader or second grader's head, and they're meant for adults. So this one right here, Enough, 20 Protesters Who Changed America, is a nonfiction picture book. So picture books can be a medium that authors use to share their information in their informational text. Photo essays, many of you are familiar with Humans of New York. We have copies in our classroom library. But photo essays, and I have some here that you're going to check out if you're less familiar with that. Interactive articles, we took a look at those interactive articles this week as well when you looked at those Dogo news articles. An interactive article is a bit different than just a regular article in a newspaper or a magazine, because an interactive article you read online, and there are many, many, many more tools that you can use. So for example, the author of this interactive article knows that some vocabulary that she uses in her writing might be brand new to her reader, so we can interact with the text. That's why it's called an interactive article. So if I don't know what the word unprecedented means, I can click on it here, and it's going to take me directly to a definition of unprecedented. I don't have to go to a dictionary online or even a hard copy of a dictionary. I can just interact with the text here and figure out what that word means. Interactive articles include images, and we can do that in hard copies like magazine articles or newspaper articles. But what we can't do in magazine or newspaper articles is embed videos that might help the reader better understand the topic the writer is presenting. So for this one, there's a few different videos embedded that the author thinks is going to help bring his or her central idea and make it more clear to the audience. So an interactive article is another format that authors use in nonfiction writing as well. Let me just get back to Thursday's assignment. So interactive article, magazine articles, we're familiar with those. So today, I want you, after you watch this video lesson, I want you to check out, these are two nonfiction formats that might be a little bit less familiar to you. This is a photo essay on kindness, and this is an infographic on, other way around. This is an infographic on kindness, and this is a photo essay on kindness. Infographics, we have had this book in our classroom library as well. Information, graphics, images. So when you're creating an infographic, the main thing the reader sees and pops right out on the page is those graphics, and the graphics are really important. Oftentimes in infographics, the text, the actual writing parts, are really limited, and the reader has to rely on the graphics that the author uses. So check out these two for your reading today. Check out these two nonfiction formats. And then think about this list. And then I want you to think about the topics that you are interested in writing about. How are you? I want you to think about who is your audience, and I want you to think about what format might best get your information across to your reader. So Mrs. Ash has done an example for you, and again, if you're like Mrs. Ash and you prefer to write in your notebook, by all means go ahead and write. Oops, that wasn't the right one. Go ahead and write in your notebook. If you are a writer that prefers to work on your Chromebook, that's absolutely okay. Either way, make sure you share it with me. But here's the list that I want you to generate today after kind of perusing through the formats that are available to you. I want you to take some of the topics, think about which topics that I generated on my list yesterday are most intriguing to me. Which ones do I either am I the most curious about and I really am passionate about learning about it, or which topic do I already have the most information on and I feel like already an expert on that topic. So I want you to create a topic audience format chart and choose 4 or 5 topics that you're most interested in. And then think about the audience that you would be presenting that topic to. And then think about what format would best would be best for you to write in for that topic and that audience. So these are the 4 that I chose. So Polly Cooper, we talked about her. She was instrumental during the Revolutionary War in helping George Washington and his troops survive the really long winter. And I would like to write about her, but I don't want to write a whole biography. Here's a big fat biography about her more towards adults. I would like to write about Polly Cooper for a younger audience. You know, I taught 5th grade for such a long time and I love middle school. So I would like to do a middle grade or middle school audience. And I think that I could best do it in either a picture book or through an infographic. That's what I'm thinking about for Polly Cooper. Same for John Trudell. I'm interested in his life, but I'm not interested in his life from his birth all the way to his death and creating a really dense piece of writing. First of all, we don't have time for that for the rest of the school year. Second of all, I want my audience again to be middle school or middle grade. And not that middle schoolers or middle graders can't read this dense text, but I want to put it in a format that is really compelling to that target audience. And I think, again, a picture book or maybe an infographic would be the format that I would choose to use if I was going to write about him. The Porcupine Mountains. I told you yesterday I'm really interested in hiking the Porcupine Mountains, doing some backpacking there. And I think that if I were to do that, my audience would be an older audience and they would be adults and they would be people who also enjoy backpacking and camping. So I think that if I were to write about the Porcupine Mountains, I would either want to write a magazine article or do a photo essay, which you looked at earlier, or maybe an infographic. But I'm really thinking I would like to do one of these, but I have to go there first. So I am interested in writing about it, but I feel like I have to go there and do some research before I would have to have enough information to do one of these informational writing pieces. And the last topic that I'm always interested and very passionate about is First Nations literature. And my audience for that would be teachers who don't teach in a native school like we are exposed to every single day. And maybe teachers that are non-native, that don't know a lot about the native community or the importance of why we need to have literature for our young people written by First Nations people, featuring First Nations people. So I'm not sure what format. I have a few that I was thinking about. Maybe a letter. I went to a school and I saw that they weren't doing a good job at it, and I wanted to be kind with them, so I wrote them a letter. Maybe I'll do a blog post that I could post on social media. What I really would love to do is a podcast series. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a very long time. We took a look at podcasts last year when you all were in seventh grade, and I think a podcast series will be really interesting to do on First Nations literature for young people. I don't have all the equipment at home, so this might be something I might save for next year, but I have this idea in the back of my mind. I also like the idea of an interactive article where I could put links and videos to certain pieces of information that I would want to share with my audience. Maybe I'll write an essay or a top 10 list, like top 10 reasons why. Maybe this is for new teachers coming right out of college. I might add that on my list right there. Top 10 reasons why it's important that we, ooh, I'm really thinking about this one now, have our classroom libraries that feature authentic First Nations literature. Okay, so those are what I'm thinking about today. So I want you to think about your topic, and for your writing today, I want you to generate a topic audience format list. As usual, if you have any questions about today's lesson, please email me. I am very, very happy, willing, and available to do a Google Meet one-on-one with you so we can talk about any issues or any confusion, or sometimes just to spark your creative juices and get them flowing, because sometimes that can be difficult on your own as well. So I'll see you soon. Please email me if you have any questions. I'll see you later.